Hi, I'm Gillian Bardsley and I'm going to show you how to create an Instagram pinned post that is like a continuous image across the top of your grid using the image splitter tool on Canva. So the image that I've got in front of me, this is the picture that I want to split into three, and I want it to be my top three slides on my Instagram profile. So I'm going to show you how I've come to get to this point. And basically what I know is that an Instagram tile is 1080 pixels by 1350 pixels. That's 1080 wide by 1350 high. So what I've done is times 1080 by 3 to get 3240, which is what this canvas is set to. So it's 3240 wide by 1080, no, 1350, sorry, high. And then I've created this graphic. Now, the important thing is that we need to make sure that when each part is on its individual tile, that it is individually going to have an impact. You know, we need to make sure that what we see on an individual tile is going to look good, basically. So I'm just going to show you how, oops, daisies, how to make that happen. So what we need to do is to create what would effectively be a guide for us to look at. So we want to create three boxes that represent our individual tiles. So I'm just going to make this 1080. Now I'm struggling to get the exact number, so what I'm going to do is just create the box and go into position, and then the position and arrange, and I'm just going to make sure that it's 1080. Right, so I know that's now 1080 by 1350, and then I'm going to duplicate it and move it into position next to that one. I'm going to do it one more time and it snaps to the right position. Okay, so now I have these three boxes, and what I'm going to do is use the rulers on Canva to make the guides. So if you come into file and settings, make sure you've got show rulers and guides set up, and then we can drag across to the edge of each of the squares that you've created, and then you can delete them. And now you've got the guides in the right position. That's one way. So now I've got the guide, I can see that on one tile you've got this, on another I've got this, and then on another I've got this. So I'm happy-ish with that. I'm going to move that into the middle because I think that would look better centrally aligned. And I'm generally happy with that. Okay, so now it's come to split the image. So we want to come down the left hand side here to apps, click on apps, and then image splitter. And it's the first one that comes up, thankfully. So it's click on that. And then we want to export design. And click on that. We're going to export this design into a JPEG. You can do it as a PNG if you prefer. JPEG's fine. And it says the size 3240 by 1350, that's fine. I'm going to work up the quality to 100%, and I'm going to click export. And what it will do next is give you the option of how you want to split it. So what it defaults to is 3 by 3. Now I don't want my image split in horizontally, I just want it to be split vertically. So I'm just going to get rid of the rows, and I've got no, yep, one row and three columns. That's fine, 1, 2, 3. Split image, and then I'm going to say save image to uploads. If I add it to the design, add images to the new pages, it's not going to work because the image is tall and short, tall and narrow, but my canvas is wide. So I don't quite understand that. I think Canva needs to think that one through. But if I do the save images to uploads thing, that's absolutely fine. Right, so now I need to create my 1350 by 1080. So I'm going to come into there and then put in Instagram, and I'm going to look for, that's the one. I click on that, create a new canvas like so, and then if I go into the uploads, my three individual split images are in there, so I can then stick it on the canvas, this new canvas. Pop that in there, pop that in. So I'm doing this manually just because, but you could right click on the image and click set as background, and it would automatically put itself in the right position. So I've done that. So if I now look at the grid view, you can see that each image is lined up with the next one. So you can see they all line up nicely. So when you then come to export, oops, download, change to JPEG, and I'm going to whack up the quality again and click download. In fact, I'll give it a name, Instagram pins, download, and then that's that, all done. So now all you need to do is post it on your Instagram page and pin the posts. Hope that's helpful, and hope you get on with Image Splitter and you find lots of brilliant uses for it. Catch you later.